that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Cheers! By BoardGameExchange.com, their insolent board game rental website. Today, I am very excited to be checking out Corporate America from Nothing Sacred Games. This is for 3 to 6 players, ages 14 and up, and it will take you about 90 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes to play. And in Corporate America, you'll be playing as, well, realistically, a rich old white dude trying to make as much money as possible by buying different companies and trying to gain synchronicity, aka I like to think of them as monopolies, and eventually, possibly, running for the President of the United States and gaining the awesome powers that come with being president. Sound interesting? Let's open it up and see how it plays. Alright, so inside of Corporate America, let's take a look at what you're going to get. First and foremost, you're going to have your handy-dandy rule booklet. 12 pages, double-sided, full color. Absolutely fantastic rule booklet. Very simple to understand, and there's humor in it. Funny humor. And there's humor throughout the entire game that is just bursting out of this game. Next, let's take a look at the components. I do want to mention that this is not a complex game, but it is a 90-minute to 2-hour game. So I'm not going to go over fully of exactly how the game is played, but I am going to give you a good feel of how everything is played so you can understand it and get a good grasp of it. But anywho, component-wise, you have your President of the United States seal right here. This is going to go in front of whoever is the President and whoever is the first player, because if you were the President, you were the first player. Now, to start the game, whoever has the most money, which I find kind of funny, is going to be the President in their pocket. So if you're broke, you're probably not going to be first player, but don't worry, it's not a huge deal being the President until later on in the game. Next, you're going to get your money, which is these micro cards, which I really like. They're thick, they're sturdy, nicely made, and they're secret on the back. They've all got the same back, so you're never going to know how much money anybody has, which is good because to win this game, you have to have the most money. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter if you're the president, doesn't matter how many business you have. Whoever has the most money at the end of the game is going to win. As you can tell, the board is very nice, bright, vivid, appealing, very well done. Next, you got your Washington Monument statue, which is really, really cool. And this is just going to tell you what stage of the game you are on. So, let's go over the different stages in the game so you can understand them. First, you got your Wall Street phase, and this is where you are going to be building different businesses. You're going to have a certain number of businesses you can build each round, and let's take a look at the businesses and how they work. So, the first one we got right here is, let's do this one. We got name brand dealers, the best drugs the law will allow. So, if you buy this, it's going to cost you $4 to buy it. But if a health consumer card, which we'll get to in a little bit, comes up, you're going to get paid $8 back. So this is going to net you quite a good deal of money. But there's only one consumer symbol on it, so it's probably not the best card, because some of them have more than one symbol on them. So let's see, we get the Hogs of Anarchy thing. It'll cost you $4 to make this. But if transportation or sin comes up, you're going to make yourself a cool $5. Now, also, some of them are going to have special abilities on them. So we got deranged fantasy games here. This is going to cost you $10 to make, and if technology, media, or sin comes up, you're going to get paid $4. Also, it's got a special ability on here. It says sponsored. Once each Main Street phase, one consumer card is going to cost you 2 less to reveal. So that's a really nice special ability, but we'll get to what that exactly means in the Main Street phase. So let's pretend those are our 3 businesses right there. You're also going to have pollution. Like, this is big journey SUVs, and while it does pay well and cost a lot, it's going to have a pollution symbol down here, and there's a good chance that later on in the game, that's going to cost you some money if you're polluting. But anywho, that is the Wall Street phase. You're going to be building different businesses, and once everybody's built their businesses, you are going to go to the Main Street phase. This is probably one of my favorite things about this game, and let's just say you're the President of the United States. You're going to be the first person to draw a consumer card. You're going to flip it over so everybody can see. Oh, bad example. And let's take a look at what we got. We right now have the food consumer card. So if you play this, unfortunately, you're not going to gain any money. But somebody else probably will gain money. So they might like it if you play this. But you might be like, you know what, this isn't going to help me. I don't want to play it. You have the option to draw another card and play either card. but it's going to cost you some money. So down here we have our consumer card price, and it says the first card is always going to be free. So this card, the first card you draw, is always going to be free. Now the second one is going to cost you $4, but luckily for us, since we have our special ability down here, it's going to cost $2 less. So to draw another card, it's going to cost us $2 less, so we'll pay the $2. And now we've drawn, that card that we said was a bad example, now we've drawn the entertainment card. So that one also doesn't help us. So now we're at the point now where we're $2 in the hole. If we want to play one of these cards, it's not going to help us. We can draw a third card if we like, but it's going to cost $6, which is a lot of money, way too much money. So now I'd be like, all right, well, anybody willing to pay me some money to play one of these cards? And that is completely endorsed by this game. People will bribe you and say, all right, you play entertainment, I'll give you your $2 back that you paid to draw the card. Somebody else will be like, you know what, I'll pay you $3 if you play food. So you'd be like, all right, I'll pay you $2 and he'll pay you $2, blah, 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 blah. But anywho, you're eventually going to decide which card you want to play, and someone is going to get paid. You're going to go through there, and you're going to play the different cards, and various people are going to get paid once the cards are played. You'll be wheeling and dealing, but one thing you need to point out is that there is synergy. What synergy is a bonus you get if you have more than one type of business. So let's take a look. We have 2 sin businesses here. So if this sin card gets played, we're going to get paid our $4 over here. We're going to get paid our $5 over here, but we're also going to get a special bonus for having 2 businesses with that symbol. We'll get an additional $2, which is really nice. Now that number goes up and up. So if we have 3 sins, we get $5, and 4 sins, we get $9. So getting synergy is very important, and that really spices up this phase. Because if somebody is going to get paid $20 in addition to all their payouts, they are really like, hey, draw another card, I'll give you $5. You play that, I'll give you $15, and a lot of wheeling and dealing and going on there. Great phase, very, very fun phase. But once that phase is over, you move on to the campaign trail. And this is where someone is going to become the President of the United States eventually. So you move it on over there. You are going to draw 6 of these legislation cards, and you are going to set them out. I almost forgot one thing. So there was a card that I kept ignoring each time it came up, and this was a protest card. When this comes up during the consumer phase, which has these symbols, you set it up here in the protest spot, and you will come back to that later. We will get back to that in a minute, but you have to do that automatically. If you draw more than one, you set up there more than one, because you can obviously have more than one different kind of protester. But for this example, we're only going to have one. So now, we're at the legislation phase. Everybody's going to take a look at what different things are on the board. Now, some of these are going to benefit you, some of these are going to hurt you, and some of these are going to have no effect on you at all. So let's take a look at some of them. Let's take, this one's Crackdown. It says, satisfy any protest. Because the protest card that I mentioned, when someone becomes the President of the United States, they are going to have to pick 3 of these cards and play them. Well, they'll draw some more. They're going to have to play some of these cards. They get to play some of these cards. Now, this is going to be another aspect of the game where you're wheeling and dealing. Because in this, everyone's going to take a look at these cards, and everybody's going to have different things they want to be passed as laws. And what's going to happen is, you're going to go to the rounds in the bid phase, and people are going to contribute to your campaign. So you're going to go around the table, and you're going to be like, you're going to be giving people money so they can become the President of the United States. Once the President of the United States is picked, you're going to count whoever has the most money. They will then become the President of the United States. This is where it gets real fun. They're going to draw 2 more cards, and they're going to pick 3 of these cards to become laws. Now, they can, during the round phase, they'll say, all right, you know, I'll probably play this card because it helps you out, and this card because it helps you out, but in return, I want you to contribute to my campaign so I can become the president. But anywho, typical actual presidential stuff. So you're going to flip over these 2 cards, and now the president is going to pick 3 of these cards to play. And he doesn't have to hold up his side of the bargain. He might have said, I'm going to play this card, and this card, and this card, and then say, you know what, these 2 cards really help me, so I'm going to play this card, and this card. But, back to the protesters, the first thing the president has to do is satisfy the protesters, which means he is going to have to play one of these cards that has this symbol. So, let's see, this one has that symbol, and this one has that symbol. So the president is going to have to play one of these 2 cards, or this Crackdown symbol, which will just satisfy the protesters, but that kind of stinks, because that's one of his 3 cards he has to play. Then he gets to choose whatever 2 cards he wants to pick, and those will immediately come into law. Some of them are immediate, and they'll say, like, give $15 to anyone who has sin, or give 15 to anybody who has health, or various different things. But let's take a look at this one. It says, each Main Street phase, play 1 extra consumer card, 9 instead of 8. The extra card cannot be changed. So that means there's going to be more money flowing around the table. Let's look at this one. This is the Defensive Marriage Act, and this does nothing. That's pretty funny. Over here we have the workplace violation fines. Players pay $8 for each labor business they own. Wow. So if you get this late in the game and someone has like 5 labor bonus or 5 labors, they're going to pay $40. So they're really going to be putting a lot of money towards somebody's campaign, so this does not get picked. But anywho, you're going to put 3 of these into laws down here, and then the president is going to get the presidential seal, and then they're going to draw 1 special executive privilege card. These cards are outstanding. They can completely swing a game one way or the other, potentially, if used at an opportune time. So this is going to be a secret card only the president will know about, and he can play it. So this one says, use this power after campaign contributions have revealed during the Capitol Hill phase. So essentially, when we're about to vote on the president and people have paid on their money, you will be able to take $10 from a player's campaign contribution to add to your own personal finance. So you are going to hurt someone for $10, so they're a lot less likely to become president, and in fact, you're going to gain $10 in your own pocket. Because normally these campaign contributions just go away. Nobody gets to keep them, but with this card, you'll gain $10, and potentially you can re-become the president again, because you might be losing by 5, but if you steal 10 from somebody else, then you are now the president. But anywho, you're going to keep going around, keep building, keep doing all the different things until all the executive privilege cards have ran out. Also, if you get an executive privilege card and you don't play it, it's worth $5 at the end of the game. And for various different numbers of players, because the game does play 3 to 6 players, you're going to have different number of executive privilege cards going. But once the final executive privilege card is gone, you're going to go back to the Main Street phase one more time, and then the game will be over. You'll count up how much money everybody has, and whoever has the most money is going to be the winner of corporate America. All right, corporate America from Nothing Sacred Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros. Let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, the game is not going to be for everybody because there is a lot of negotiation. You're not good at negotiation, or if everyone in your game group hates you for some particular reason, you're probably not going to have the best shot in this game. Now, granted, you can sit back and obviously just, try and get businesses that all work together and earn you the most money, but you're going to be missing out on a big chunk of the game there because you're constantly going to be trying to wheel and deal and bribe and become president and say, hey, contribute to my campaign, and then I'll pick this law and pass that law and do this and that. And if that's not your cup of tea, that's not your cup of tea. And this is very heavy in this game. Also, the game is a bit on the risque side. I personally love it, but just have that in mind. I mean, you could obviously play this with probably a 9-year-old. They'll understand it. The mechanics are very simple, but there is some stuff in there that is for adults, humor-wise. But moving on to the pros, I want to start with the humor. The humor in this game really comes across. This is a funny game. There's a lot of funny stuff in this game. The cards are funny. Next, I just want to say I love this game. I love corporate America. I would not be surprised if when I make my top 5 games of 2013, if this was on the top of the list or near the top of the list for me personally. I had a lot of fun with this game. If you like that aspect of wheeling and dealing in, say, like Settlers of Catan, let's just go with the base example, where you're trying to trade things and you have to communicate and do all that, then this game will be for you, because you will constantly be trying to wheel and deal and persuade people to do different things and bribe people and say, hey, you don't want that card, how about you draw another card? I'll give you $2 if you draw another card just to see what it is. Or be like, hey, contribute to my campaign and I will pass this and I will pass that. And you know what? You don't have to do any of that. You can just straight up backstab people, lie straight to people's face, and it's all a lot of fun. The components are nothing short of fantastic. They made it through Panda Games, which, if you didn't know, is an outstanding manufacturer in China. They are just top-notch. Everything in this game looks fantastic, feels fantastic, is very, very well done. The last thing I want to mention is the presidential cards are where it's at. I mean, sure, you can just try and get all the synchronicity and make the most money, but being president and having that secret card, and let me tell you, the secret cards do awesome things. Having those cards is a lot of fun because nobody knows what you've got up your sleeve, but you do. Anywho, as you can tell, I'm gushing. Corporate America from Nothing Sacred Games is a fantastic game that you need to have on your shelf because it is a blast to play. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for your time, YouTube.
That was the review for Corporate America. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bauer's Game Corner. Also, be sure to check out BoardGameExchange.com. It's cooler than unicorns.